to Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee. I'm Chef Renee, and today we're going to be making risotto. That's right, risotto, and you can do it too. We're gonna make that, and we're gonna have some scallops to go on top and some snow peas on the side. I think you're gonna love it. Let's get started. Now today, what we're going to do is risotto actually is one of those things people stay away from, and they stay away from it because it's really time consuming in the fact that you have to stay and stand and stir. Well, I have learned a new technique where you actually get to walk away from it. So we're gonna get started. First, I've got some chicken stock going here. And I'm going to add this to it. This is like 4 cups of chicken stock, and here is about 2 cups of chicken stock with 2 cups of water. So we're just going to keep that warm because you don't want to add cold liquid to the risotto once you start. So we got that going. Now what I'm going to do in this pot over here, I'm going to get it turned on. We'll get that warming. And while that is warming, I'm going to take a little bit of my liquid gold, which is my clarified butter. And I keep it sort of in a warm water bath because it will solidify. So you just need about maybe 2 tablespoons of some sort. And there we are. I'm also going to add just a little oil to that. The reason I'm doing the oil, I don't want either to burn, okay? So we have that there. And while we're waiting for that to warm up, I'm actually going to chop my onion. And we're going to use the whole onion here. And remember, we go down on that onion like that. Then we just peel away. That's the best way to do an onion. Look at that. Quick, fast, and a hurry. And I tell you that the faster you are with it, the less likely you are to tear up. Although there's nothing wrong with tearing up. I just like to save it for a romantic evening or a nice song. All right, so we're gonna slice into the onion. Gotta watch myself. There we go. Look at how easy that onion chops. And it's not falling all apart because I kept it together at the back. Now, as you get closer to the end, you just want to turn it down. And then I go ahead and continue chopping. And I smell my butter olive oil mixture. So I'm going to get to scooping and get it over there. There's my sizzle. And the onions are just going to flavor that risotto nicely. Going to get the rest of this. And remember, I don't like to waste anything. So if you want, you can always use the rest of that onion. You can wrap it in cheesecloth and use it for a broth. Now we are going to use the entire onion. And we want to cook them just until they're translucent, not till they brown. I mean, it won't hurt anything if they should brown, but just so you'll know. And I actually use the palm of my hand so that when I run that knife through, I'm not in danger of cutting myself. And we'll just do the other half. There we are. There we are. Wonderful. And remember, just turn it over. Look at that little stubborn one there. We turn it over, continue our slicing. we are. And we're going to add that to the pot. And look, not one tear, see? Not one tear. You can do it too. That was really quick. All right. So we have that. Now, I'm going to actually stir the onions just to make sure they all touch the bottom. Here's a secret that I learned about the onions and the way that we can make this quick walk-away risotto is using a pot. Like this is a cast iron enamel pot, which actually evenly distributes the heat. Not only does it evenly distribute the heat, but it also maintains it at a even level so that everything is getting cooked. So as it rises, though, clearly the stuff at the bottom is actually cooking, you know, or obtaining more of the heat than the rest. But because the entire pot is being heated, everything is still staying nice and warm and doing what it should do. So that means be careful with the handles. Now, once those are translucent, I'm actually going to, let me move this. I'm actually going to add a garlic. Now, you can add one, you can add two. I'm going to hit that. There we are. And look at how easily that peels. I'm going to add the garlic to it. Going to get rid of that little end piece. There we are. And then we're just going to chop. Now you can do 2 cloves, but really the recipe calls for 1. I love garlic, so I can never have too much garlic. In fact, a friend told me that she was going to actually come up with a garlic candy for me. I'm still waiting. There we are. Let's just get that nice and chopped. There we are. I'm going to add that garlic in there. Oh, the onions and the clarified butter are just smelling fantastic. And like I say, I'm going to add 2. All right. Let's just chop that one. I love garlic roasted, and I love to infuse my oils. For those of you who watch Simply Fresh Food a lot, I love infusing my oil with garlic. Of course, you can infuse your oils with other with herbs such as basil. You could use sage. You could use whatever it is that you like. It's whatever makes you happy, whatever taste you like, whatever tickles your fancy. That's what my grandma used to say, whatever tickles your fancy. I bet your grandma had little sayings too for you, huh? Okay, that's really aromatic there. I'm just going to add this last bit of garlic, and then we're going to actually add the rice. Let me just wipe this down a little bit. All right. Oh, that is really aromatic. The onions are perfectly translucent, just the way we want them. Beautiful. And now we're actually going to add the rice. Now, the rice is, this is arborio rice, and it's sort of like it looks sort of like a smaller, just smaller than like orzo pasta, but it is a rice, and it contains a lot of starch. That's the difference between that and, let's say, your regular long grain rice. It has a lot of starch in it. And in order to make a good risotto, that's what we need. We need a lot of starch. So, because it's also going to make it creamy for us when we add all of the other ingredients, the liquids and the yummy cheese and herbs. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually coating. It's like I'm making popcorn here, because you know I'm just popping arborio rice all over the place. But but it's supposed to stay in the pot. So I'm coating all of the rice. And the reason that that's a good thing to do is because you want it to be able to absorb everything, all of the liquid. We're going to add white wine to this. We're going to add chicken broth. So you want all of that to adhere and just, you know, fluff the rice up and have some great flavors going on there. So we've got that going on here. And I think all of the rice is coated. Now you say, when am I going to get to walk away? This is supposed to be walk away risotto. All right. What I'm going to add next is I'm going to add the wine. Now, this is a dry white wine, and you want a dry white wine to this because you're going to be adding. It just makes food so much more flavorful and savory when you use dry. All right. And I want to cook out that wine. So I'm going to stir just until it's slightly creamy. Oh, if you could smell this. Oh my goodness, it smells so delicious already. But you don't want to try to eat it now because the rice is still firm. The wonderful thing about risotto is once it's all finished and it's all creamy and delicious and you're eating it, the inside of each grain actually is just a little beyond or just a little at al dente, which gives it a nice bite. You got the soft texture on the outside, and then you got the that little bite on the inside. So you know you're getting a good meal. You know you're getting something that's actually going to really stick with you and stay with you until you're ready to add something else. So I'm just making sure that that wine cooks out. I'm going to bump it up just a little bit. Yes. Now here, I've got that chicken stock going. I'm actually going to take out 5 cups and I'm going to put it right in here. And then I'm going to put the lid on and I'm going to actually leave it on. I'm only going to check it twice while it's actually cooking. Now, in traditional risotto, you actually stand and you stir as you add in the hot liquid and you keep stirring and stirring. But because of the type of pot that I'm using, I don't need to do that. I can do other things. So let's check and see. Oh yes, the wine is cooked out. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to start adding it. I'm going to use the measuring cup to add. Now I'm going to stir while I'm adding. You know, and this is what we do out in restaurants, and you can do the same thing at home. That's 2. Three, and look at that. And I like to do this slowly because I get to see it slightly thicken and the rice absorbing that. So this is 4. I think it's 4. And this would be 5, but because I didn't fill them all the way up, I'm actually going to add an extra one. All right, that is so gorgeous. I'm going to tilt this just a bit. And remember, that's 5 cups of stock in there along with 2 cups of water. And now that we have that on, I'm just going to stir. I'm going to add just a little salt there. remember I used the kosher salt. I'm not going to add my pepper yet. I'll add that at the end. All right, now, remember I told you this is a walk away risotto, so I don't have to stand there. I'm going to actually put the lid on it now and let it cook for, about, the first time you check it, maybe, at 7 or 8 minutes, somewhere 7 to 9 minutes. Check on it just to stir it, and then leave it on for another 7 to 8 minutes, and it will be finished, at least finished cooking to the point that you can add your other ingredients, whatever they're going to be. So I'm going to leave that one alone now, and I'm going to get a few things all cleared up, and then we're going to start on our scallops and our snow peas. I'm going to keep that broth warming, and the reason is we're going to add a little bit more broth to it later once we add the cheese and all the yummy herbs. So we'll be back in just a few moments, and we'll get started with our scallops and our snow peas. I'll see you then. Have you heard? You haven't? Well, Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee is moving to a new time. Same day, Wednesdays, 8 to 9 now. So make sure you're there. Wednesdays, 8 to 9. Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee. See you there. All right, welcome back. And we are actually, the risotto has been going for quite a while, so I'm just going to lift up the lid and I'm going to stir. Now remember, I walked away. Oh yes, it's ready. It's ready for the next phase. Now, a lot of the liquid is cooked out of it, which is what you want. So I'm going to lower that heat. This is fabulous, and it smells absolutely delicious. But I'm also going to get started on the snow peas, and I'm going to get started on the scallops. Now for the snow peas, that's going to be an easy one, right? Where's my button? This is easy. All right, we're going to turn that on. And we're going to just blanch and then shock the snow peas. That's what we're going to do. That's it. Easy peasy, right? Going to add a little salt to the water. Pardon my shoulder reaching. All right, and we still have that broth going on because we needed that. So I've turned this down a little. And what we're going to do, turn down the risotto, and what we're going to do now is, let me remove this top just for a sec. I'm going to put it here. All right, and I'm stirring it. Oh, that is so beautiful. Now what we want to do here is we're going to add another 3/4 cup. I'm going to just leave that there for a sec. We're going to add another 3/4 cup of the broth because we're going to add the cheese as well. And then we'll add some herbs to it. So let's get about 3/4 cup there. Not too much. Okay, we'll start with that. And then you add it slowly because you have to see what it is that you need, what the consistency is, how it's holding up. And this is, I grated a cup of fresh Parmesan cheese. And remember, I told you, got to be careful with these. They are hot. And you want to stir slowly. Look at that. Oh, and it smells delicious. I'm going to turn that way down. And now remember, because I'm using this type of induction burner, if I turn it off, then the heat just absolutely goes off. So I just want to turn it down to low. That is so creamy. Look at that. So creamy. We still have a few more steps to take with the risotto. One of those being I'm going to put that there, move the cheese. I'm going to move these scallops over. And one of those is, we're going to chop up some fresh parsley. I'm going to put my, let me move this butter just for a minute, my liquid gold. Here we are. We're going to chop up some fresh parsley and we're going to add it. I'm actually going to put the lid on just a little bit. Now remember, I turned that way down. And that's all. We're just going to go ahead and chop up some parsley. Now I'm going to use parsley and chives. And now when I actually went into the store or at the market, there was like a rush on chives. So I'm trying out a new ingredient with chives. It's the, I think it's called, it's not flash frozen, but you use it just like fresh chives. And it is fresh. They are fresh chives. They've just frozen them. So I'm going to try that. Now, when I tried it the other day at home, I was actually pleased with it. So I hope you are too. So if you run into that and that day everyone seems to want chives, remember I told you they were running for it. So I have that's about 2 tablespoons. And that's about 2 tablespoons of chives. We're going to add that to our risotto. And now I think I'm just going to turn it off because it has done all that it should do for me. Oh man, this smells so delicious. Oh, it smells delicious and it looks beautiful. I love how the green herbs contrast that white, creamy rice and cheese, and oh, it looks just delicious. Now is the time to add the pepper. So I've ground up some fresh pepper earlier. I'm going to add a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more salt. And I have the juice of half a lemon in here. I'm not going to add a lot. I'm just going to add a little. Just a little. Now we're going to stir. But we're stirring carefully. It's more like folding it in. Oh man, this looks absolutely and smells absolutely delicious. Oh, look at how creamy it is. Ah. I think I'm going to taste that. I can't help myself, okay? I'll let you know. Hot, delicious. I'm happy. All right, let's move this and then we'll move on to the other things. We're just going to turn on the burner here. Let's make sure we set that on low. What we're going to do is I have a little oil in the pan. I'm going to add a little clarified butter to it as well. And we're going to sear our scallops. We're going to then put them on a plate. And we're going to, tent them with foil and let them rest. We're going to let them chill out while we finish up the snow peas and everything. All right? So let's wait. That's getting hot. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that to get hot, I'm going to go ahead and put my snow peas in there. Now, we've already had these nicely trimmed and washed, so we are good to go. And now I'm not really cooking the snow peas. I'm partially cooking them. In fact, let me get another tray. Pardon my back. There we are. We're just going to make sure we're blanching them. And then we are going to shock them in the cold water. There we are. And that doesn't take long at all. And I like these fresh. I like them, blanched. I like them, green eggs and ham. I like them everywhere. Okay, that's what it made me think of. Here we are. Now we're just going to put them in this cold, cold water. See how beautiful and green they are? It's exactly what you want. So we have our snow peas there. Some nice large scallops. These might even be called, do you think they'll make it as colossal scallops? Look at how big they are. Now what you want to do, and I've already done this with these scallops, is I've made sure that, I've taken off any of the tendon that might be on the side, because that's just not edible. So I'm now going to take this seasoning, which is a blackening seasoning, and I'm going to dip them in there after I get them ready here. Let me check over here on this. Oh, let's see, I don't want to do that. I'm going to pour a little salt in. There we are. All right. Hello. All right, and we are going to take a few pieces of, or a little bit of, this blackening season. I use this very large spoon to demonstrate that. Yes. We're gonna, oh, look. When your oil gets too hot, like I just let mine, you gotta let it cool, because you don't want to burn anything. And scallops are very delicate, so we don't want to do that. So we're gonna let it chill out for a little bit there. And I think we are good to go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a scallop that I've put a little salt on. I'm going to put a little blackening seasoning. Make sure that that is turned down there. I'm going to add another one. Now these will finish as we tint them with foil, and as large as these are, you could actually finish these in the oven. Nothing wrong with finishing these off in the oven, as large as they are. There we are. I'm going to move that oil around a bit. Oh, they're browning nicely. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. And what you want to do with the scallops is you want to make sure that they begin to turn, become firm on the outside and sort of opaque-ish. That's when you know that your seafood is done. All right. Yes. So we're going to, oh, these are looking beautiful. Because they're so large, I'm letting them go just a little bit longer than I would certainly smaller scallops. All right, isn't that beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. And they're firmer on the side, of course, where they cook. And you see how it's turning white all around the side, firming up on the side? Oh, that one is just really lovely. Here we go. Oh, beautiful. We're going to put those on a plate. We're going to finish them off in the oven, and then we will be good to plate because we are so together here. I'm going to actually drain the snow peas, and I might julienne just a few of them for our plating. I'm going to take these scallops off, put them in the oven, let them finish there because they're so large. But if they're smaller, you're using smaller ones, you just can put an aluminum foil over them while they're on a plate and let them rest for about 5 or so minutes. Maybe not even 5, but you'll know when they're done. You're looking for that opaque and you're looking for that little firmness on them. These actually are finished, so that's fantastic. And then we will plate everything, and then we can eat. So I'll see you in just a few moments. We're gonna get that going. Hi, this is Chef Renee with Simply Fresh Foods, and I have a quick tip for you today. Today, I'm gonna show you how to make encrusted, or I should say crispy, panko breadcrumbs with butter and sage. It's really, really easy. You're gonna say, hey, I could have thought of that. Here, I have about a cup of panko breadcrumbs, and I like the panko because they just come out so crispy and nice. So I'm gonna take just a couple of servings of this clarified butter, or my liquid gold, as I like to call it. I have some fresh sage leaves here. You know, you just use whatever you like. And then I'm gonna add some fresh ground pepper. Always spices up things. And I'm gonna use a little salt. And you just stir to mix that. Now you can also use a fork if you like. I'm just gonna mix that up. It's gonna come to a crumbly consistency. And then I'm just gonna put it on a baking sheet, which I've lined with parchment paper. I'm gonna spread that out. Here, we'll just use my hands there. And you are ready to go. There we are. We're gonna put this in the oven. We're gonna bake them just till they're brown, maybe about 350 if you want, 375. It only takes like 3 to 5 minutes, so make sure you keep your eye on it. Could be even sooner if your oven temperature is higher, wherever your rack is placed. So we're gonna put this in the oven, be right back and show you exactly what it looks like. And we're back, and look at this crispy, beautiful golden brown texture and color, and it smells delicious. Let me taste. Hear that crunch? Delicious. Perfect every time. Welcome back. And we are finishing up our meal today. The risotto is complete, completely beautiful and tasteful. I am very excited about it. So we are going to scoop some. We are ready for plating. I'm gonna put the lid, I'm gonna put it down here. I'm gonna bring my plate over. Yum. Already, look at that. Oh man, that is gonna be so delicious. Center stage for the risotto. That's a lot of risotto, right? Okay, I'm just gonna leave that there. Here we are. With our scallops. And let's see. I decided I'd just leave some of the peas this way. Here we are. And remember, I like to have something crispy on the top. I also like to have something colorful. So we're going to use some of the toppings of peas, the shoots, I should say, of peas. there, little crisp topping. And I think I'm gonna add a little bit. What I put in this is butter. It doesn't look like, you know, something you'd be like, oh, give me some. But trust me, it is delicious. So I've added in there a little butter. I'm gonna take my little spoon. It's butter, lemon juice, and a little salt. There we are. And that's clarified butter. Yay, look at that. How beautiful. So today we've prepared an herbed and Parmesan risotto. We've actually prepared some blanch and shock some snow peas to go with that. We've seared some scallops with blackening seasoning. And we made also a crispy topping that you can find on the website with breadcrumbs. And it has sage in it as well. And we used white wine when we made the risotto. So I have chosen a Chardonnay since I used the dry white wine in the risotto. And you can choose whatever you'd like, just as long as you enjoy it. I want to thank you for having me into your home and for tuning in to Simply Fresh Food with Chef Renee. I hope you enjoy this treat, because I certainly am. Thanks again.